Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and to our coffee times together. And today we're here to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog.
It's coffee time.
So this movie was supposed to be released in 2019, I believe in November, but we all know what happened when the first trailer was released. The whole internet voiced their opinion about the, looks of Sonic, and due to popular pressure and opinion, the studio or the director, I don't know, maybe both, decided to actually redo the character to please the audience, which is something, that I don't think should always happen. Like, you cannot please everybody and you should not have to change everything all the time for, the people. But in this case, I think it was really a matter of nobody going to watch this movie or people actually giving it a chance. So I am extremely grateful that they decided to change it. It's so much better, you guys. It's just so much better. I understand that they were trying to make Sonic look a little bit more human-like, but it just doesn't work. So I think this new, more cartoony version that they designed works perfectly. So Sonic is voiced by Ben Schwartz, and I think he did an amazing job. It sounds fantastic. We also have James Marsden that plays a sheriff whose character, he was very lovable and very funny in a way. It was kind of like the smartest from the doofus in town. And we also have Jim Carrey, which I was really excited about because he was going to play that Robotnik, and he did an amazing job, and I think he had a lot of fun with the character. So obviously the character of Sonic comes from the video games, and here is where it gets nostalgic for me. When I was a kid, my first console was a Sega Master System 2, and one of the first games that I have ever owned was Sonic 2. And I played that game for hours without end. Back in my day, when I was young, you could not just save the progress in your game. You actually had to pause it, go have lunch with your parents, and then come back and keep playing the game if you did not want to lose all the progress that you have done. Many times I had to go to bed and I had to turn it off and lose all my progress. So, struggles that people nowadays don't know about. So basically, what I mean to say with this is that the character holds a very special place in my heart, and so this is one of the reasons why I really wanted to watch the movie and give it a fair chance. Even though I knew this was going to be a little bit more of a movie oriented to children. So the basic plot of the movie is that, we get to know Sonic, who is a special hedgehog, a blue one that has this super speed, and he basically is being told to be careful not to show all of these powers because else people are going to come and try to hunt him down. But of course, he's a little bit reckless, and so when they come looking for him, he needs to flee, and he receives a bag with rings, and these rings open portals to other planets. So he ends up in Earth. So in Earth, he ends up in Green Hills, which is obviously a reference to the game, and he ends up in this small town, and he is, he has his little cave where he keeps hidden for most of the time because he knows now how important it is for people not to actually see him. And until one day he has an encounter with this sheriff, and they start this kind of really weird but super cute friendship, and they start this adventure while they're trying to flee away from Robotnik and try to recover the lost rings. When it comes to the characters, I believe that with Sonic they did a great job to develop his character arc, and you can see a lot of different aspects of his personality, and I think Jim Carrey also did a great job. I know this is a little bit overacted, but the character of Robotnik, it's this over-the-top dude, especially if you play the games. He's loud, he's over-the-top, and I think that Jim Carrey probably had a blast playing this character and probably had so much fun to do that. And it is kind of going back to the old Jim Carrey characters in a way. I liked it for what it is. Of course, it's, overplayed. but I really enjoyed it. As for the other characters, you know, there's nobody that was really like a bad actor or anything like that. It's just that the other characters, they felt a little bit more like bland, you know, everything else was kind of like more on the same line, and the other characters were not developed as much. But it makes sense because the movie, it's basically what it's supposed to be, which is kind of a battle between Sonic and Robotnik. You know, Robotnik is always trying to catch Sonic and Sonic is always running away, so it's kind of basically that. As a fan of the games, I absolutely appreciated all the little winks to the games, and I felt like Sonic like behaved, looked, or you know, when he's waiting and he does the tapping with the food, like all of these things that he used to do in the game or still does in the new games. And you know, those things just warmed my heart because that is a Sonic that I know and I've always loved, and so I really appreciated all of that. I don't know if, you know, the kids at the cinema really paid much attention to that, but for older people like me that grew up with this game, I think we really appreciated all of those winks. Now, this is really like a kids movie, like the jokes and the humor, it's kind of focused more on making children laugh. There were a couple of times where I also find myself laughing, but most of the times were the children that were laughing in the theater and not me, because things were funny but not funny to the point that I had to laugh or anything like that. So you know, it's more kind of like a kids movie, and one of the best parts, the funniest parts, is basically the bromance between the sheriff and Sonic and their adventures. They're pretty funny. I kind of wish they would have found a balance a little bit more between, you know, children and adult movie, like something like Shazam did. I don't want to compare it because they're different movies, but in a way Shazam was a movie that you could go as a family and watch it with your kids and everybody would laugh, but it was not so much, you know, for little kids as much as Sonic is. But I think this is just me, you know, as a preference. I would have, of course, loved to have a little bit more of adult jokes in the movie or something like that, but I do understand that this is a child's movie, so it's just basically me wishing that they would have targeted an older audience, but I'm aware that this was made for kids. I have to admit that, you know, when I went into the movie, I did not have any kind of high expectations at all, but I think that they put a lot of effort to make justice to the character. You know, it didn't feel like they just wanted to make quick money out of the character. It just felt like they really tried, you know, to give a nice story and develop a nice character. And most of the messages throughout the movie, you know, it's about friendship and about finding your place and where you fit in. And, you know, I did think that they did a great job with this movie. Unfortunately, of course, it had things that, you know, were a little bit disappointing, like a lot of cliches, like a lot of them. There are a couple of plot holes, and obviously the ending was kind of, you know, one of these endings that everything is suddenly super easy. Okay, let's wrap it up, we're done, okay, bye. And I wish it would have, you know, had a more, like, I don't know, kind of more well thought ending without just doing the easy way out. So for those kind of things, I took it into consideration when I gave this movie my rating. And this is not a spoiler, but if you know, stay until the end of the movie, there is a post-credits scene and you can see Tails, who is a fox that belongs to the Sonic universe, and basically he is looking for Sonic using the rings. So this kind of hints to a second movie. I'm not sure if they plan already on doing it or they're waiting to see how the movie was received in theaters. All in all, I believe this is a great movie. Obviously, people that are familiar with the character because they've played the game, especially people that are in their 30s like me, probably have, you know, a different perspective on the movie. I think if you, as an adult, go to watch the movie and you don't know the character or you don't like the games, then I mean, don't even bother to go watch this movie, because there's nothing there for you. It's mostly, like I said, for kids or for adults that love the game. That's basically what this movie was made for. And you know, even though I think it's a good movie, I'm gonna give it a rating of 2.5 out of 5 stars. I know I used to do my movie ratings from 1 to 10, but since I am using Letterboxd now, and they have a 5-star rating system, I'm just gonna keep it consistent with that. So I gave this movie in Letterboxd a 2.5 rating out of 5, because I think it just passed. But because of all the cliches, plot holes, and you know, that ending that was a little bit unsatisfying, I just decided to give it 2.5. But you know, it is a great movie for a one watch, or if you have kids, I encourage you to watch it with them, because you know, they would laugh a lot and really love the movie. And these were my thoughts about Sonic the Hedgehog, and I hope that you enjoyed this review. Have you watched the movie? Let me know down below. Also, let me know, did you ever play the games? Did you love them or not? Let me know in the comments. Let's discuss that down below. And thank you so much, guys, for watching. I really appreciate the support. Please give the video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you don't want to miss any more coffee times. And also hit the notification bell. All my other social media, including the link to my Letterboxd account where I post all the movies that I've been watching and the reviews, is also in the description box down below. So I hope to see you all in the next coffee time. Bye!